Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning with Roy, where I let you in on a little bit of my morning routines and share a little bit about some things that I've done or experienced in my Sunday, or well, not just Sunday, but whatever morning routines that have happened recently that I found interesting and possibly useful to share, and do maybe a little bit of it with you. So some of the routine. So first off, I do a little bit of mindfulness or meditation or some sort of grounding skill, something like that. Some techniques that just help get me, calm and clear and present and focused on you know the moment. So we will talk a little bit today. The topic is being human, not perfect. So that's to come. Stay tuned. But first, a little bit of mindfulness, meditating, just focusing on our thoughts, just noticing the thoughts that happen. Maybe you're like me and your thoughts kind of wander and go all over, and sometimes they're just silly, or sometimes they're not very hopeful, or sometimes they're negative or angry, and they're not always upbeat and positive, and sometimes they are, right? Sometimes my mind is just all over the place. We're not going to judge it. We're just going to notice. I'm just going to notice what happens with our thoughts just for a moment. You can close your eyes or leave them open, whatever you would like. Don't judge them, just notice them. Let one thought come and release it without judgment, and notice the next one as it comes and release it without judgment as well. Take a good deep breath and release it. All right. After I do a little bit of mindfulness, I usually start the day with a prayer. I have sort of some set things that I do that just help get me out of myself, out of my head, out of worry, and just thinking of myself and not others, whatever it is. Um, I, Probably the prayer I want to share today comes from some of that, but it could just be whatever my intention for the day is. Sometimes I get some of that from what I've read for the day. If I've read something recently that I thought was useful, or like I said, it could be from just a routine prayer that I've got, and I really will read the same one every day, and that's okay. And I pray to God, and you can just pray out to the universe if you don't have that belief in a God or a higher power. Um, you can still pray. So my prayer today is that for God to help me to be patient, loving, and kind today. Help me to be thoughtful of others. I always want to be that, but sometimes I get in my own way and thinking about myself, right? So that's my thought and intention and hope for the day. Um, be kind and patient and thoughtful of people. So in my reading um, recently, something that come up was the theme was to accept circumstances as they are, right? To accept people as they are. And that includes myself, right? Realizing that it's okay to be human and not perfect, right? Because every human I've met so far, not perfect, right? So I'm allowed to be human, not perfect. And so are others, right? And so are circumstances. And we've got to work with what we've got to work with, right? Part of my problem has been at times, and probably, not probably, definitely at times still, that I want things to be the way I want them to be. That's my Halloween cup. I was wanting something to be maybe not Halloween, but this was the cup I have. It's got a nice straw, and I'm sipping on stuff here in front of the camera with the mustache. It all gets in it, and I'm dripping in messy, and I'm thinking it's not really Halloween by a few months now, but that's the one I got, and it works really well. So I'm gonna accept my cup as it is, and appreciate that it allows me to take a sip of that stuff without making a mess and dribbling all over myself on camera. And but sometimes I don't accept things the way they are, and it's not even things I can change, and it gets me worked up, and I struggle, and it's not very useful, right? Um, I also want to note that this being human, right, and accepting myself as I am, doesn't mean that that's an excuse for problems, right? Problematic behaviors, or being stagnant and not growing. It just says this is who I am, and this is what I'm working with, and being honest about that so that I can grow and work, right? Also, still giving me grace, right? I'm not going to get it right all the time. I don't have to beat myself up about it. But yes, sometimes there are some things that I want to change, but I don't change if I don't know what I'm really working with, right? You got to kind of know where you're going, right? To get there, and you got to know where you're starting from, right? If I'm looking up on my maps, and I'm trying to find the location of somewhere, right? If hopefully now with the phone, I'm pointing at it because that's what I'm recording with, is my phone. Hopefully now it knows where you are. But if there's not enough signal and it can't figure out where you are, it's not going to get you where you need to go, right? So accepting myself as I am isn't an excuse for problems and problematic behaviors, or not growing, but it's allowing me the grace to be where I am, see it, be honest about it, so that I can grow and move forward. And same with others. I'm not always great at this, but I'm trying, and I'm doing better than I used to be, allowing them to be who they are, allow them to be where they are. And that doesn't mean that maybe we're not aligned, and that it doesn't, they're not as, sometimes people that you used to be close to, or friends or family, that you're just not aligned with where you're at in life and where you're going. And sometimes it can be problematic, right? And some people, where they are, because of their own struggles and things going on, they're not always, how do I put this? They're not always helping us to get to where we want to go, to be the best versions of ourselves, because of their own struggles, and that's okay. But I don't have to be around it, right? I don't have to allow it. I get to have my own sort of boundaries, right? And if they're not going to be respectful of sort of boundaries when I'm with them, then I just won't be around them, right? But I can do that, or minimize, right, where I'm going to be around them, or how long, and if they're really kind of have some troubling behavior that's problematic for me, maybe if I'm going to be around, I limit the amount of time, and maybe I've got an exit strategy, right, if I need to go earlier. But I don't have to put up with poor behavior, or be around things all the time that are gonna cause me problems in my life. But I accept them for who they are, right? And that means that maybe they're not somebody, if they have some problems that are dragging me down, maybe they're not somebody that I need to be around, right? But if I accept that, I can just understand that and let them be who they are. And if things change, or if they want to reach out, then I'm here, right? But I'm accepting them as they are, and that doesn't change the fact that I still care about them. It just means that my life is going in a different kind of a way. So I accept you where you're at, and I'm accepting me where I'm at. And it's all right to be imperfect on this journey. And life circumstances. Things are just going to be what they're going to be, and how do I work with it? And if I can get a good sense of what's really going on and what's there, and who I am and what I'm working with and what the situation is, then if I do need to make changes, that's a much better way to change, right? That's like having your starting point, knowing your destination, having the maps pulled up on the phone, and there's enough signal, it knows exactly where you are. Now you can get to where you want to go. So that's just something that I was thinking about as it come up in my readings recently. And then I do some gratitude. And so my gratitude today is the one small stuff sometimes, right? Just to certainly I'm grateful for the big things, my family and things like that. But I'm also grateful for my phone, the technology that it allows me, the maps to get where I need to go, to record this, the productive ways that it helps me. And I'm in Arizona. I've seen a lot of really beautiful sunsets and sunrises recently, and I'm really grateful for that. What are you grateful for today? Spend some moments to think of 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 things that you have gratitude for. Maybe put some in the comments below if you'd like. I'm curious to see what it is that you're grateful for. And then get out and do some movement. I don't know, do some walking, do a jog, just go around the block, stretch a little bit, do some yoga, do some push-ups, something to kind of get the heart rate up just a little bit and get moving. It's okay to start small, start slow if you haven't done much for a while, and to ease back into it. And have a great day. I'll see you next week.